So I'm delighted to welcome back our partners of the Global Trade Help Desk, which is an initiative of the World Trade Organization, the UN Conference on Trade and Development, and the International Trade Center. But I will leave it to our guests, Anna Jankowska of the International Trade Center, to elaborate on all the great things that the Global Trade Help Desk tool can do for businesses and SMEs in particular. So Anna, welcome back. And I'm very much looking forward to your presentation. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Robin. And really, it's an honor to be here with the World Trade Center Association in this General Assembly and your amazing community representing more than 160 World Trade Centers in over 70 countries that have been brought together. So honestly, I'm thrilled to be here. As you mentioned, my goal today is to just give you a brief introduction into one of the tools that has been developed in the last couple of years, launched last year, called the Global Trade Help Desk, because we really feel like it can simplify market research and make life easier for the firms that you work with at the World Trade Center Associations, but also your clients. So if you will permit me, I'll just do a really brief introduction. And then I will quickly do a live demo to show you how it all works. So, as you all know, global trade is expected to have a strong recovery this year in 2021, which is great because trade was down 5% last year and services were especially hard hit. So this is really good news that we need. But at the same time, we also know that the recovery is expected to be uneven. So these are the latest World Economic Outlook projections from this month. And we can see that in Asia, where there was already a strong growth and strong trade recovery in the fourth quarter, we can expect a lot more of that in 2021 with expectations of 8.6% of GDP growth. We also expect strong growth in the US and a bit more moderate growth across the Eurozone, LATAM, Middle East and South Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. So this means that once again, it's really important for firms to be conscious of their opportunities and their prospects across regions and across the globe. So what can businesses do to really adapt their strategies and to take advantage of these emerging opportunities? And what we encourage businesses to do is to really stay informed about these opportunities and to diversify market risks. So one of the things that we learned throughout this pandemic is that if you really have your exports or your trade activities concentrated in only one or a couple of markets, this really leaves you at risk. And now, as once again, commerce is really starting to bloom again across different regions, it's important to really take advantage of those opportunities. So how can we do this? So in December, the WTO Informal Working Group on MISMEs, which is 91 governments, members of the WTO, released 6 recommendations on what they think can really help small and medium enterprises in supporting an inclusive recovery. And one of these 6 recommendations was specifically about access to information and endorsing the Global Trade Help Desk as a key source of firm intelligence or market intelligence for firms. So this is why we're working together with 11 partner agencies, really trying to join forces to make life easier for businesses, to make sure that the information that was once scattered across 14 different databases is now accessible in one place. And we're working with UNCTAD, the WTO, the ICC, the World Bank Group, the African Development Bank, the Inter-American Development Bank, the World Customs Organization, among others. It's really a joint collaborative effort. And working together, we've put together the globaltradehelpdesk.org. And I'd really just like to take you through one example so that WTCA members can really get a sense of what kind of information they can find. If you'll permit me. So here we have the Global Trade Help Desk. And currently, the Global Trade Help Desk is available in 6 languages. The Portuguese version is going to be launched actually in the next month. Right now, it's still under testing, but you can go ahead and test that as well. And up top, there's a few links about COVID-related measures, which are still relevant for some sectors and in some markets, so always good to have a look there. But the main activity is really the search box. So we're going to give you really detailed results based on specifically the exporting market you choose and in the product you select. So here, as an example, I have chosen Vietnam as the exporter. So for a product, I have chosen tricycle. So I'm going to type in tricycle here, and it will recommend a couple of different product codes. So I am going to choose to focus on tricycles for children, so toy tricycles. And then in terms of market selection, if I don't already know which market I would like to export to, I'm going to use this Help Me Find Markets with Export Potential map button. And this will propose markets with export potential from Vietnam for tricycles. And these are the calculations up to 2025. So this is the estimated export potential in the coming 5 years. So we can see here that the US has the highest export potential for this product. So if we assume that perhaps the Vietnamese exporters already exporting to the US, but would like to diversify to other markets, we can take, for example, China, and I'm going to click on Go to launch the search. And what this brings up, Robin, is first it gives me an idea of how attractive the Chinese market is for tricycles. So we can see what the global imports are, that it's the 18th largest importer of tricycles. And we can also get a sense of how the perspective is from Vietnam. So currently it has an import share of 6% in this market, and it's been growing quite rapidly at about 26% per year over the last 5 years. And we can see here that the last exports was about 52 million, where the estimated export potential is 64 million. So we can see that there's still a bit of room for growth in this market according to our estimations. We can also quickly have a look at what the tariffs are. So we can see that there's a duty-free rate. There's a 0% tariff on Vietnamese tricycles. But the bigger issue for firms tends to be the regulatory requirements. Like, what are the actual product specifications that a firm must meet to get their tricycle to the Chinese market? So here we can see both the requirements in Vietnam. So we can see that domestically, there is a conformity assessment measure, and there's also some sort of fees associated with this. And we can also see across different product category, across different categories, what the specific regulations are in the Chinese market. So for instance, if we look here at the product requirements, we can see that there's safety requirements, there's restrictions on certain substances, and certain import authorizations and licensing. So a firm can go step by step and deeply look at exactly what these regulations are and make sure that they will be able to access the market with their product. In addition, the Global Trade Help Desk also gives an overview over private sustainability standards. So this is especially relevant, for instance, for produce and for agricultural goods. If you're looking to export organic or fair trade, you can find all of the information by clicking here. We also have an overview of logistics performance, so the cost and time to export. This is actually a country level indicator provided by the World Bank from the Doing Business report. And lastly, we also have information on how to put your plan into action to connect with some of the key partners. So you can connect here with intellectual property offices, the Trade Promotion Organization, banks that provide trade finance, as well as businesses that are active in this sector. So here we have information provided by Connect Americas from the Inter-American Development Bank, and we also have further information from TradeMap for those that have TradeMap accounts. They will be able to see, for instance, who are the importers and exporters of toys in China. So they will have that information here as well. I also just wanted to flag a couple of last elements. So here, there's also under Navigate Procedures, information about protecting your intellectual property. So if a firm is interested in protecting their IP rights, they can also get further information and do that here. And last but not least, when we scroll down to the bottom, if we're not convinced by the results of the Chinese market, in a single click, we can update all of the same information, for instance, for Germany. And here we can see that the tariff is different, and you can get further details about how to be able to access that information here. So that is the quick and dirty brief overview, but I just wanted to give you a quick view of what we can see, and invite members to obviously take their time and look through it. And if you have questions in the future, I definitely invite you to reach out to me and contact me. My email address is here, iankowska@intrasend.org. But I really hope that this tool will be helpful for WTCA members and for your clients as well. Right now, the platform is only limited to goods because the services data is not quite there yet to be able to offer detailed information. But we wishing you all the best in this trade recovery and in taking advantage of global opportunities.
Well, Anna, thank you so much. And before we go into the Q&A, we're going to put up a poll as well. So please go to the poll box. Important we poll this. Question 1 is, how helpful is the Global Trade Help Desk as a complementary tool? Second question is, will you further explore the Global Trade Help Desk as a source for information on international trade? So we'll see what the audience says here. And Anna, I mean, every time I see you at work here, I'm truly impressed. And I took note also of two things. What the functionality of the market attractiveness, I think, is incredible, but also the notion of the information you provide on protecting intellectual property rights. I think that's an incredible function there as well.
So that's actually from the World Intellectual Property Right Organization. They are also a partner to the initiative. And so they provide their databases so you can really search according to the different copyrights. And then you can also get their services of protecting your brand globally. So.
Yeah, it's incredible, the integration of data of so many organizations that you do. If your tool would not exist, I say we would have to invent it. But really, I think we're having well over 1,000 participants in our business week, in our conference this week on the B2B platform. So this is definitely, we're going to push this out to this audience. And we have a bunch of questions coming in. One question is, do you have an idea? You mentioned the services portion of the Global Trade Help Desk, Anna. Do you have any idea when that may be available or become available?
We're hoping in the coming years. We don't have a clear idea yet. The problem, Robin, to be perfectly honest, is the quality of the data collected by countries. Right now, for services, it's not disaggregated enough. It's not, many countries don't report bilateral statistics. So right now, we have some statistics, but we don't think we can give really accurate and useful information to businesses just yet. Also, on the regulatory side, the mapping just isn't there yet either. So the information is super aggregated, and there's not the same precision as there is for goods. But this is definitely the direction we're moving in, and we'll be working on it for sure. As soon as the data is good enough, we're there, I promise.
Well, I appreciate the candid answer, because at the end of the day, what is important is the reliability of the data that you provide, which is outstanding. There's another quick question here. Is there a quick search function for product demand by country?
Not in this platform. So if you're interested in product demand by country, I would encourage you, for instance, to go to TradeMap, where you can get an overview of the global market by product. Our goal here is to really bring together all of the information that we can at the exporter, product, and importer level. So to really bring it in from everywhere, but assuming you already know, your product and your exporter. So we don't give an overview of the global market, but interesting idea. We can consider that for the future. Thank you.
Another question: how can firms be listed? Can they be listed as a buyer, and how could organizations be listed for providing their trade services?
So two answers there. So one is that if you register in the Connect Americas database, you can automatically be included. So please go ahead and do that. And the second answer there is that we are really looking to improve and to really augment the coverage we have on firms there. So we are really looking for partnerships in that, and if we're exploring new opportunities. So if there's a way to do that, we really be keen to also collaborate. I mean, I am really happy, Robin, that you guys have put together this amazing B2B event, because I feel like this is really the best way that firms can really find the right partner. I feel like aside from business directories, I think that really having this interaction one-on-one is the magical combination. So I can't wait to hear about the success stories from your B2B interactions this week.
Yeah, thank you. We're equally excited about this as well. So let's go to the poll and see what the responses are. So how helpful is a global trade help desk as a complementary tool? 80% is extremely helpful, and 14% is very helpful. So that's a 94% rate of the tool being a very helpful tool. And to the question, will you further explore the Global Trade Help Desk as a source for information on international trade? It's a full 100% answer of yes.
Great,
So
that's exciting.
It's very exciting. It's a very wonderful. So well done, Anna. So let me thank you again for being here with us today, and we'll definitely be in touch very, very soon again. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would say before we close this last session of the day, I'd like to mention that today's program will be available on demand on the Jublia event website. And I'll also like to guide you to our survey, which should now become available on your screen. So do click on the box for the survey. We appreciate your feedback. In closing, let me also briefly introduce tomorrow's program.